welcome back to Data Driven Finance, brought to you by Yodlee. I'm Mike Stiles, and my guest today is Steve Szpytek, Head of Consumer Product Development at Axos Bank. Steve is also Head of Consumer Unsecured Lending at Axos and Chief Administrator at Into Funding. He holds a degree in business, economics, and psychology from Cornell College. And we're going to be talking about where we are and where we're heading with financial consumer products. So, Steve, thanks for being with us on the show.
Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for having me on the podcast. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and I'm honored to be here and answer all the questions that you have for us.
Hey, well, I appreciate it. We have been appropriately complimented, so I'll go easy on you.
All right. Very good.
Well, I guess first, just tell us about Axos Bank. What are its specialties? Who does it serve? What does it regard its main differentiators to be?
So sure. Axos Bank opened its doors on July 4th of 2000. And what I really like about working for the bank, it's a well-established, diversified financial services company. And so what that means is we have a lot of different financial services verticals within the bank. And it really helps us with a well-balanced portfolio of verticals that when one is really on fire, such as mortgage over the past few years, that made up for some of the other verticals that weren't quite as hot. So we've got a lot of different verticals within the bank itself, which is great. We're a technology-driven financial services company. And that's what's, I think, really interesting, that we're able to deliver the tools to our customers to help them manage their financial life with, personal or their business or commercial accounts.
And what about you? What energizes you about your particular position there? Because you were at Axos and then you left for a little bit to go work at Into Funding, and then you came back.
Mike, absolutely. First and foremost, I loved and love working for Axos Bank. I joined the bank in 2015 to stand up the unsecured personal loan platform for the bank. So I designed the loan origination system and website in Excel, believe it or not, and they were fully functioning. When I met Greg Garabrandt in 2015, I showed him what I built, and he gave me the resources and latitude to stand up the platform, which I am internally grateful for. It was really fantastic that he believed in me to bring that to the bank. When I joined the bank in 2015, it was very different. I actually live in Chicago and work in San Diego, so I have kind of an interesting commute. And again, Greg gave me the latitude to go out and build something from scratch, and it worked really well. In 2020, I decided to leave the bank to go help run Into Funding. As my roots are in the mortgage business, I spent most of my career in the business. And at the time, I felt like I reached kind of the ceiling of where I could move within Axos. And so it was a good time for me to make that change. 2 years later, with interest rates rising, and it was just kind of serendipity, so to speak, I got a call from my old boss, or a text, excuse me, and he said, hey, would you be interested in considering coming back to Axos? Loved working for Axos. Axos has been a very great company for me. The management team was terrific, and it just worked out that they had an interesting position for me in product development for consumer and small business. And then the rest is history.
Sounds like you're living a charmed life.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Well, but as past guests have learned, I also ask annoying questions like, what are the parts of the financial industry that really frustrate or annoy you? I mean, I get that, you have a passion for it, but there's got to be some things that kind of get under your skin too.
I think in my position, the thing that is the most frustrating to me is because technology is moving so quickly, there's always a better product out there or service to help enhance your platform. And so that frustrates me to a degree. As an example, we have several different identity services where we go out and we verify a customer's identity. And what we have in place is fine right now, but there's stuff out there that's even better. It'll make it better for our customers, but you have to weigh that against what products or services can you deliver to your customers that's really going to move the needle for them. You want to have a good customer experience for them, but also you want to make sure that you have the right products for them. And so that can be frustrating at times.
It's your job to figure out what consumer products might make sense to put into development. So how do you know? How do you know what products to develop and roll out, and how do you know when to roll them out?
That's a really great question as well. We want to deliver products to our customers that will make sense and move the needle for them. One example that when we rolled out our universal digital bank product, we introduced credit score monitoring for our customers. And we had a big debate internally. Hey, what products should we roll out with credit score? We want to obviously display credit score for our customer. We want to show the accounts that they have, but is it important for them to show the full credit report? Or is it important for us to offer dark web monitoring as an example? Is that something that the customer really cares about as it relates to their financial life, as it relates to products that are offered by Axos? And we didn't really think so. And so we didn't introduce that product at the time. What we want to focus in on is what is going to help our customers reach their financial goals by offering them fair consumer checking, savings, deposit accounts, right? Or loan, personal loans or mortgage loans. That's the focus that we really work on and make sure that we're offering those products to our customers in a fair and easy way.
And you've had not just some success, but a lot of success using data tools to create your customer experiences like you're talking about. And I want to kind of step through those. One is the success of your mobile app. How did that come to be?
That's right. So currently about 70 to 75% of our customers interact with Axos Bank through our mobile app versus web. It's not quite as heavy on the small business side because typically small businesses, they'll be sitting in front of a computer many times doing invoicing or whatever. But on the consumer side, most of our customers use the mobile app. And so we wanted to create the best experience possible for them by using the mobile app. And so we focused a lot of time, attention, and resources to that.
Well, are they comfortable using it for things like applying for loans?
They are. We do get a number of customers applying for personal loans and mortgage loans on our app. But there's a number of customers that will also go and upload documents on the website as well. We see customers doing a combination of both sometimes when they have to come back and upload documents as an example. They may not have those documents on their phone, and so they go to our website and upload there.
Well, next is fraud prevention. It feels like there's almost nothing the bad guys can't do these days. So what are you using to prevent fraud and cybercrime?
That's one of the things that's always first and foremost on our minds is we want to make sure that we're dealing with our customers that we deal with. Again, we're an online bank. We don't have brick and mortar branches. And so like some traditional branches who get to touch and feel their customers, so to speak, in the branch, we don't have that. And so we do have a lot of different tools. I can tell you, when I stood up the unsecured lending platform, I came to Yodlee to verify bank accounts for several reasons. Number one, the way that we were verifying accounts in the past is we were using micro deposits to verify, which was standard fare, so to speak, 10, 15 years ago, where customer would put in their routing number and account number. You would send them two small deposits and then extract that money from them. They would go back and log back into your portal, put in those $2 amounts to link their account. The problem with that is you don't really get to see or understand who that customer is. They just simply linked an account because they had a username and password for that particular bank account. I engaged with Yodlee. Again, I actually met Yodlee at a trade show, believe it or not, and talked to the rep there, and I liked what I saw. And I saw that I could go and actually have customers put in their username and password for their bank account in a secure way where they were able to link their bank account to us. And that gave us access to seeing who that customer is, when the account was opened, what the current balance is. And that information was a win-win for both the consumer and for Axos because we were able to link the account quickly. And by the way, that account linkage happened in seconds or maybe a minute or two versus having to wait another day. And so not only did we pick up on speed, but we also had a way to really present some of the fraud that was occurring because of the old antiquated way to link accounts.
Well, something your customers obviously have really embraced and love is that account linking and account aggregation. What makes it so, in addition to the fraud protection that we just talked about, what makes it so attractive to them and convenient for them?
Well, it's easy, and I think customers over time are getting more and more used to linking their bank accounts or, just linking their accounts in general, if it's bank accounts or loan accounts within financial services platforms, because again, they're getting used to it. They're not as leery as they were, call it 10 years ago when I first started, or 9 years ago when I first started having customers link their account. There were a number of people that just didn't trust it yet. Now that it's a little bit more mainstream, it just kind of is. If you go to TurboTax as an example, you put in your username and password for a financial institution, and you're able to upload 1099s, where in the past you'd have to keystroke all that information in. So technology has definitely changed the landscape, and I believe the customers are becoming more and more trusting of that.
So you use Yodlee to help with the fraud prevention and the account linking, and you're able to know more about your customer. And that must speak to personalization as well. I mean, how important is personalization these days, and being able to, not through human labor, but through data, know exactly who a customer is and, what product might be right for them?
That absolutely. That the data that we receive from our customers via account linking really helps us understand their cash flow, their needs, and it helps us to personalize offers to them based on what we see. We may see a customer who has a savings account where the interest that they're earning on their savings account is less than 0.5%. We offer savings accounts that are better than that. And so we're able to go and make that offer to them, saying, hey, do you realize that you could make X dollars with us based on what you have at another institution today by simply moving that money over to us? And we've had success with that. So rather than just trying to guess the personas of what a customer may look like, because of account linking and the data that we receive from our customers, we're able to better show them products and services that they may be interested in.
What are your thoughts around that dance between asking and needing and getting the personal data of customers versus the convenience that they get for giving you that data? There's always that push-pull of, okay, I'm willing to give up this data, but in return, I want you to know me as a person.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And, in the days where everything seems to be digitized, we always remember that there's a human behind the accounts, right? I use Axos as my primary bank account as an example, because I want to walk in our customers' shoes. So I live it and breathe it every single day, good and bad. When there's something that I don't like, that maybe that we've done, I'll make that suggestion to try and change that. By being a Axos customer and using Axos as my primary bank account, I think it's important for me running product to do that, because again, I get to walk in the customer's shoes. And so as far as the balance of having all my account linked versus what offers that we receive, there's a balance. You have to be subtle with it. You can't beat your customers over the head with a new product every single day. And our marketing team works on the proper cadence to kindly suggest products for our customers over time.
Well, behind all this is strategy. You're not just making it up as you go. And that strategy centers on, from what I understand, 4 pillars of user experience, tracking, training, and communication. So touch, if you can, kind of briefly on the goal or the best case scenario for each of those pillars that you deal in.
Sure. So user experience, that's number one to us. Great products only matter if the customer has an easy time managing their financial life on your site, right? And so user experience is everything to us. If a customer has a difficult time logging in or finding their accounts, that's not great. It's interesting, when we first moved over, nobody likes change, by the way, Mike, but when we first migrated to our UDB, we call it UDB, Universal Digital Bank platform, from our old platform, at first customers, the reviews were mixed. And some of that had to do with they were so used to how they used to interact Some of our customers didn't like it, but as time has gone on and they've gotten more and more used to the platform, we're getting more and more positive reviews. So again, user experience is everything. As far as tracking, it's important for us to understand our customers, and we do track our customers and their usage because we want to make sure that what we think we're delivering is actually being utilized. And so looking at that data is important. As far as training is a two-way street. Number one, you need to have your contact center customers and everybody within the bank, they need to understand how the app works. And if a customer is having a challenge on our app or on our website, it's important for our team to be trained to know how to answer the questions properly to satisfy the questions the customer may have. And then as far as communication, we want to communicate, and we do communicate with our customers. We give a lot of different ways to communicate. So, they could call our contact center if they'd like. We have a chat bot that they could talk with to answer basic questions and self-service those questions as well. And so that's important to us to make sure that we're communicating to our customers. We do email campaigns to make sure that they understand what is available to them and how to best use the system.
Well, what kind of features or services are you looking at right now? Do you have anything special for, you mentioned small business, like something particular for them?
Yeah, that's right. So we're looking at enhancing our small business platform. So recently, back in June of this year, we migrated off of an older platform, a small business platform, into Universal Digital Bank. And so our customers are able to now see their accounts and interact with their consumer accounts with their small business accounts. And now that we have that platform stabilized, we're going to start introducing new products and services for the small business customer that will allow them to send invoices, as an example, or move money in a more efficient way. So we're looking at a lot of different products on the small business side to enhance that particular vertical.
When you think about loans, I mean, any kind of loan, personal loan, auto loans, mortgages, maybe even small business startup loans, it's usually a grueling process. And the history of me, it's always been a pretty grueling process. How are we moving forward toward simpler, easier, faster, less intimidating loan processing? And how does data and good data partners play into that?
Well, gosh, things are changing so fast within the lending world, and it's fantastic in my opinion. Technology is really, really improving the lending process, be it mortgage or personal loan or car loan, where in the past it would take, on a mortgage loan. Again, I've been my roots are in the mortgage business, and it used to be, 30 days to get a mortgage closed from start to finish. And now you could see mortgage, purchase loans completed in a week or two. And it all has to do with the technology behind getting information into the platform. So you could go in, upload your W-2s or pay stubs, or you could actually log in. Some companies allow you to log in using your payroll services to get that information. The changes are account aggregation. Again, you could go in and put in your credentials for Axos Bank, as an example, at Axos or at a different lender, upload all of your bank account information just by putting in your credentials versus having to go and printing each one of those statements and then uploading into a system. So that speed is truly amazing, and technology is definitely changing that, and will continue to change it over time.
Don't get mad at me. This question is for all the suspicious people out there.
Sure.
We know banks are in business to make money, and we're fine with that. But how do you reassure customers that the products they're using are best for them and not what works best for the bank?
Absolutely. You have to have transparency of the products that you have. You've got to tell your customers what the interest rate is going to be, what the terms look like, what fees are associated with a loan or with a bank account. It's critical to treat your customers with respect and dignity, and show them the entire picture of the product. Again, you have to give the customers all of the details of the loan. You have to be completely transparent with all of the functions and features of the product or the loan.
So in your current role, what do you spend most of your time thinking about? And, that can be something, a worry you have or a huge opportunity that you see on the horizon. What plagues your thoughts?
Well, I always think about how I can better enhance our customer experience with products and services that are really going to move the needle for our customers. And in addition to that, AI. AI is something that is ultimately going to improve how we deliver product. It's going to shorten our cycle of product delivery. Those are the things that I'm looking at focusing is how can I be more efficient and deliver the best products to our customers quickly.
So that's the main role you see AI playing, is basically speeding things up, making operations more efficient. Because I always ask people, what's the more realistic expectation for AI versus what's the hype?
Yeah, I mean, AI is a wonderful tool. And I think it's something that you need to, as a company and as an organization, you have to embrace it, but understand that it's a tool. And how can I leverage AI to take out some of the mundane work that we're doing right now to make sure that we're completing tasks efficiently, so I could spend my time thinking more about strategy versus being in the trenches trying to just figure out how to just get a product pushed out quicker, right? So AI will help us with that.
You're an online bank, so are physical banks dead or dying or on their way to extinction?
I don't think so, Mike. I think physical banks are evolving. There's a need for physical banks. It's not what we're, that's not how we're positioned. But if I look back, and I bank at a physical bank here locally in Chicago, and I go in there when I need to have something that I can't get accomplished through Axos. And primarily it's around getting larger amounts of cash. If I need to go out and get $4,000 in cash, it's difficult to get that out of an ATM. And so I'll go into my local bank and take cash out that way. Some customers just want to go into a bank and talk to a person, and that's just fine. That's not who our target audience is. But it's, physical banks are evolving over time. If you look at a bank 10 years ago, what a brick and mortar bank looks like versus today, they're very different. You don't have as many people in a physical bank as you used to, because so many things are driven by their website or their mobile app versus going in and talking to a customer.
Plus, I think they still give out free candy.
They do. Exactly right. Yes, they do. And if you look at physical branches I probably go in a branch maybe once a quarter, and a lot of times it's a customer who's bringing in cash, right? They may own a car wash, right? They're depositing the money that they receive from their vending machines or whatever else. There's still a need for those banks, but they are evolving and changing.
Well, Steve, it's been great having you on as a guest. If listeners want to find out more about Axos Bank and some of the things we've been talking about, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so they can go to our website, www.axosbank.com. We have a lot of information about our products and services there. And if they'd like, they could also email me at Steves, Steves, at axosbank.com. Happy to talk with them or get them to the right person within the bank if they have questions that I can't answer.
All right, we've got it. Hey, if you're listening, go ahead and subscribe to the show. If you operate anywhere in the financial services and fintech space, the takes we get from the people we talk to are going to keep you really well informed, as you heard. And if you want to see how aggregated financial data might be of great use in your business, visit resources.yodlee, that's YODLEE.com/podcasts. And we'll see you next time on Data Driven Finance.